They thought they could stop her. They thought Patricia was just another village woman with a pot of rice and a strange attitude. But what they didn't know was that Patricia had already seen them coming. By the end of that week, 4 people had died. And Patricia? She was just getting started. Ever since her rise began pulling people like flies to a flame, a small group of villagers had been watching closely. They had seen how people would sell their last wrapper, skip church services, ignore their sick children just to eat her rice. These were no ordinary cravings. This was possession. The group, 6 of them, met in secret. They were teachers, traders, one herbalist apprentice, and even the daughter of the village's late priest. They called themselves the Watchers. And they had one mission: to uncover the truth about the mysterious rice seller who had turned their peaceful village into a walking nightmare. Their first attempt was simple. They would send someone close. A spy. A friend. They chose Auntie Ronk, a kind, quiet widow with a warm smile and a soft voice. Nobody suspected her of anything. She approached Patricia gently. Pretended to admire her business. Praised her food. Day by day, she got closer. Helped her cook. Fetched water. Sat near her at night. But what Auntie Ronk didn't know was that Patricia's spirit guide, Madame Orich, whispered in her ear every night. And she already knew Ronk's true intentions. 3 weeks passed. And then, one evening, Auntie Ronk didn't show up for their usual meeting with the Watchers. They waited and waited. The next morning, her body was found by the riverbank. Eyes wide open. Mouth stuffed with uncooked rice. Her hands were tied behind her back with red thread, and her heart was missing. No one cried. No one spoke. But the group knew exactly what had happened. And that was only the beginning. Their second plan was to warn the village. The leader of the Watchers, Boba Timelaine, stood in the village square with a bell, shouting, "This is not food. It is blood cooked with rice. She is feeding on our lives, and we are smiling." But the villagers laughed at him. Even as children disappeared. Even as strange marks appeared on the bodies of those who ate too much. Even when pregnant women gave birth to lifeless babies that smelled like stew. No one listened. No one cared. Because they were addicted. Not to the rice, but to the curse within it. The group tried again. They paid a traveler from a nearby village, a known diviner, to confront Patricia directly. He was a bold man. He walked into Patricia's hut wearing charms, cowries, and a white cloth tied around his eyes. But he didn't even make it to her doorstep. By the time he took his 3rd step toward the hut, he dropped to his knees, foaming at the mouth, and began to scream. "The pot! It sees me! It sees me! It's calling my name backwards!" Then, silence. He died before nightfall. Word spread. But it only made Patricia more powerful. Her rice now smelled even sweeter. People who ate it claimed to feel visions. Joy. Peace. Even those who had once been enemies of Patricia began to defend her. The Watchers were now being washed. Then came their final plan. Desperation had set in. They decided to destroy the pot. They waited until one night, when Patricia was supposedly away, visiting the neighboring village. 3 members of the group crept into her compound, carrying palm oil, firewood, and broken charms. They found the pot in the center of her room, bubbling, even though there was no fire beneath it. And it was whispering. The whispers grew louder as they approached. The floor turned hot. The air thick. Their bodies began to sweat, then shake. One of them, sobbed, screamed, "We must do it now." But before they could lift the pot, it opened its mouth. Because it was never a pot. It had always been the living thing. It roared. And by morning, Their bodies were found hanging from the village trees, braided together by their intestines, and smiling. No one touched Patricia again. No one questioned her. Not even the chief. His own son had run mad after sneaking into her kitchen to find proof. He now spoke only in riddles and walked on all fours, barking like a dog. And Patricia? She remained calm, graceful, unbothered. Every day, her wrapper changed color, red on Monday, black on Tuesday, gold on Friday. No one dared ask why. But the women believed it had something to do with the spirits she served. Because each wrapper had a face drawn inside. And some villagers swore they looked familiar. Even when it rained, her fire never died. Even when storms came, her pot kept bubbling. One night, someone tried to set her hut on fire. But by morning, it was the rest of the village that had burned. Only her hut stood untouched. The pot was still boiling. And if you stood close enough, you would hear it whispering your name. The villagers were silent now. Not because they had finally understood, but because the rice had eaten their voices. Those who tried to scream, choked. Those who tried to run, vanished. And those who still doubted Patricia, found themselves waking up inside their own graves, buried alive, with rice grains stuffed in their mouths. But Patricia simply stirred her pot. She looked up and smiled. Because now, the spirits had told her the next sacrifice was ready.